The Consensus Conference in Toronto has always been a focal point for the blockchain and cryptocurrency world. In 2025, it became the epicenter of a seismic shift in global finance. Pi Network, a project shrouded in intrigue and anticipation, finally unveiled its grand vision. The announcement sent shockwaves through the financial world, forever altering the landscape of money as we know it. For years, Pi Network had operated in stealth mode, building its user base and refining its technology. This deliberate approach, while frustrating to some, proved to be a masterstroke. It allowed Pi to mature away from the speculative frenzy of the broader cryptocurrency market. The world was about to find out why. On May 14, 2025, the world held its breath. Dr. Nikolas Kokalis, the enigmatic founder of Pi Network, took the stage at Consensus 2025. He was joined by Dr. Chengdiao Fan, his co-founder, along with high-ranking officials from the White House and the U.S. Treasury. The announcement was as unexpected as it was momentous. Pi Network had fixed the value of Pi at $314,159 per Pi. This global consensus value was not an arbitrary number. It was a carefully calculated value derived from the collective trust of Pi's massive user base and its underlying technological infrastructure. The inclusion of U.S. government representatives added another layer of significance to the event. This was not just a tech announcement, it was a declaration of intent. The United States, the world's largest economy, was signaling its acceptance of Pi Network as a major player in the future of finance. The reaction to Pi's GCV announcement was immediate and dramatic. Bitcoin, the bellwether of the cryptocurrency market, plummeted by 15%. Investors, it seemed, were flocking to this new asset class backed by a tangible value proposition and a rapidly growing community. Gold, the traditional safe haven asset, experienced a surge in price, rising by 8% as investors sought stability amidst the uncertainty. The U.S. Treasury bond market, a cornerstone of the global financial system, was not spared either. Yields on U.S. Treasury bonds spiked as investors questioned the long-term viability of traditional debt instruments in the face of this new digital disruptor. The New York Stock Exchange was forced to halt trading multiple times as the shockwaves of Pi's announcement reverberated through the global financial system. The U.S. Treasury's presence at the Pi Network announcement was more than just symbolic. It was a clear indication of the government's intention to embrace this new digital paradigm. In a historic move, the U.S. Treasury announced it would recognize Pi's GCV as a framework for public digital accounting. This effectively meant that the U.S. government would use Pi's value system to partially offset its staggering national debt, which had ballooned to over $40 trillion. This decision was driven by several factors. Firstly, Pi's massive KYC-verified user base with billions of transactions represented a level of measurable trust that was unprecedented in the digital world. Secondly, Pi functioned as a standard unit of economic integrity, compatible with smart contracts and capable of facilitating transparent and efficient transactions. Lastly, the limitations of the current fiat-based system, coupled with the slow progress of central bank digital currency development, created an opportunity for a new system to emerge. Pi Network, with its robust technology and engaged community, was perfectly positioned to fill this void. The world was buzzing with the news. The impact of Pi Network's announcement was felt far beyond the borders of the United States. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, hastily convened an emergency roundtable to discuss the implications of Pi's global consensus value on the global monetary system. China, the world's second-largest economy, announced that it was actively reviewing options for pegging the yuan to Pi's GCV. This move could potentially reshape the global balance of financial power. The European Union, grappling with its own economic challenges, saw Pi Network as a potential catalyst for innovation and growth. Discussions began within the European Central Bank about the feasibility of integrating Pi into the Eurozone's financial infrastructure. Major financial institutions were also quick to react. Visa, Stripe, MasterCard, and JP Morgan Chase all announced pilot programs and the development of new financial products utilizing Pi's GCV. Section 6. The visionary Dr. Nikolas Kokalis. At the heart of this revolution stood Dr. Nikolas Kokalis, the architect of Pi Network. A Stanford PhD graduate with a passion for decentralization and blockchain technology, Dr. Kokalis had a vision to create a more inclusive and equitable financial system. He believed that everyone, regardless of their background or location, should have access to financial tools and opportunities. Pi Network was the embodiment of this vision. Launched in 2018, Pi Network had quietly amassed tens of millions of users worldwide. Its unique approach to mining, which allowed users to mine Pi on their smartphones without draining their battery life, democratized access to cryptocurrency. This, coupled with its focus on building a vibrant and engaged community, set Pi Network apart from the rest of the cryptocurrency landscape. Section 7 Pi Network, a new chapter begins. With the announcement of its GCV, Pi Network entered a new chapter in its evolution. The enclosed network, which had shielded Pi from market speculation and allowed it to develop its infrastructure, was now open for business. Users could finally transact freely, utilize Pi for goods and services, and interact with other blockchains and financial systems. The transition to an open network marked the beginning of Pi Network's journey toward becoming a mainstream financial instrument. With its strong community, innovative technology, and bold vision, Pi Network was poised to redefine the very nature of money. Section 8. Trust, the ultimate currency. At the core of Pi Network's philosophy lies a simple yet powerful concept: trust. Dr. Kokalis, in his address at Consensus 2025, emphasized that trust is the ultimate currency. He argued that traditional financial systems were built on a foundation of debt and speculation, leading to instability and inequality. Pi Network, on the other hand, was built on a foundation of trust. Every interaction within the Pi Network ecosystem, from mining Pi to completing transactions, contributed to a measurable and quantifiable trust graph. This trust graph formed the basis of Pi's value, making it a truly unique and revolutionary digital asset. Section 9. The future of money, decentralized and inclusive. The events of Consensus 2025 signaled a paradigm shift in the world of finance. Pi Network, with its focus on community, trust, and accessibility, emerged as a leading contender in the race to redefine money. The future of money, it seemed, would be decentralized, inclusive, and powered by the collective trust of a global community. As Dr. Kokalis eloquently stated, in the world of Pi, contribution equals currency, and trust equals value. This simple yet profound statement encapsulated the essence of Pi Network's vision to create a more equitable and prosperous future for all.